requirements of a tractor and machinery dealer. You must be a man of vision and ambition, an after-dinner speaker and a before-dinner guzzler, a night owl. You must work all day and drive all night and appear fresh the next day. Learn to sleep in a car and to eat 2 meals a day to economise on travelling expenses.
Already building himself a reputation as one of Cornwall's finest and most trusted engineers, Ken Vincent found himself alone in a locked workyard hunched over the engine of a rotting army truck.
I fixed the truck in about half an hour. It was the most simplest job I've ever had. They'd had the leads wrong in the distributor and I checked them up and boom, fantastic.
It turns out it would also be the job that changed everything. Within 30 minutes, a decision had been made that would set 50 years of Vincent Tractors in motion.
I said, I'm going on my own. Well, he said, if you can fix that bloody truck, he said, best of luck, you'll get on.
It had all started years earlier, a 10-year-old with an entrepreneurial spirit, scraping coke embers and selling them to his neighbours. School and a Saturday job in a greengrocer's followed, before Ken secured a trade apprenticeship in general farm mechanics with Farm Industries.
I did about 2 years after my trade apprenticeship, so it would have been about 7 years.
Already an acclaimed mechanic, Ken found himself headhunted by a rival firm offering a salary of £1 a week more.
No, she said, it's up to you, you've got to do it. She said, it's up to you. I said, well, pay the rent and we got a bit extra and change your car that you do. I said, well, up to you. She said, we're all right where we are. She said, you never know this. She said, please yourself.
But happy where he was, he repeatedly resisted their temptations, until eventually accepting a role paying £2 a week more.
So I went in and seen the man who took me on. Although he said, I haven't seen you for a long time. I said, no, I haven't. He said, what's the problem? I said, well, I haven't got a problem. I said, but I don't know what to do. He said, well, tell me, what's your problem? I said, well, I've been offered £2 a week more to go to another firm. He said, well, you'd be very silly to refuse it, because if I gave it to you, I'd have to give it to everybody. I believe in keeping everybody the same. I said, but I am here talking about anybody else. I'm here talking about me. He said, you take it if you're offered that. It's a very, very good offer. He said, but if it don't go right, you can come back. I said, well, thank you very, very much indeed. I said, my gosh, I got something to think about now. He said, that's up to you. Didn't take me long to think that £2 was a lot of money than mine. Could have been nearly bloody 20 or 30 now for certain. So I told her what I was going to do and I left him and went up and worked for a couple of years.
Alas, if only life were that simple. 3 years later, Ken suddenly found himself summoned to his boss's office, having helped his uncle sell a tractor.
About 10 days after I went in, he said, hey, the boss want you. All right, in for a rise? I don't know, he said. So I said, no. He said, come in. Yeah. He said, I want to ask you a straight question. I said, well, certainly, what's the problem? He said, have you sold a tractor? I said, no, I haven't sold a tractor. He said, we've been given that you have. Oh, well, I said, I haven't sold them. I said, but my uncle did. He said, with your help. I said, yeah, well, I did that because, well, he said, in that case, pick up the tools, pick everything you got. He said, and be gone within 15 minutes. So that's where it come out now.
With 2 young mouths to feed, Ken accepted a job in a construction yard, an experience that was to have big implications.
I fixed the truck in about half an hour. It was the most simplest job I've ever had. They'd had the leads wrong in the distributor and I checked them up and boom, fantastic. Oh, I thought I got a good note to wait and see me now. Because it came back to Esme then. She want me to work on my own and I don't like it here. I better try it. Went out Trisman where he was. He said, hello, Ken, everything all right? No, not really. He said, how? Well, I said, first thing is, I've done your trap. He said, you're joking. I said, no, I've done it. What was it? He said, I can't believe it. I said, well, you can't believe it. He's all done. He said, right. No, I said, hang on, before we go any further. I said, I've had a thought about it. And I'm used to going out all the time. I can't stay in that yard. I'm coped in. The job won't suit me. That's fair enough. Well, he said, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going on my own. Well, he said, if you can fix that bloody truck, he said, best of luck, you'll get on.
And it seems Esme was already one step ahead of him.
Yeah, went home to see Esme. What are you doing? Oh, I said, I can stick that job. She said, good. I've had John Thomas from Cornish Farmers, Trisbane on the phone.
As it turns out, Esme had just got off the phone to a farmer looking to have a tractor fixed, and so Ken did his first job as a freelancer that night. With Ken's reputation, word spread, and there was no shortage of tractors to be fixed. The couple was soon able to purchase Hope Farm.
Well, then we was in the farm for about 3 years, and I built a shed again, built a shed. Mrs. looked after 20 pigs and a boar, and milked 6 cows. And I didn't have anything to do with it, more than carry out the dung, cut the grass, make the hay. We named it Hope Farm. That was our hope we could get on, see. Never dreamt I was ever going to go anywhere else. I just thought we'd build sheds. Sheds all in this 3 acres.
But go elsewhere they did. The family moved on to the garage at Fraddon in 1963. With this move, he transitioned from a one-man band to a fully fledged business. Vincent Tractors had officially been born. In addition to employing local mechanics, Ken chose to invest in new tractors. For some time, he had been making trips to Cambridge to collect tractors for refurbishment and resale. Now, he approached Zetor.
He said, you ought to wait and see Ken for one of these Zetors. He said, gazelles start before you can take your finger off the button. Oh, he said, I've heard that before. He said, well, wait and see Ken. So Mr. Cornish went and see me. We done a deal, and that was the first one I sold, and my grandson got him to this day. We brought him back. I said, you weren't just buying a Zetor tractor, you were buying Ken Vincent.
In the following years, Vincent Tractors enjoyed brilliant sales of the Zetor, a new brand to Cornwall. In the early 1980s, Ken's son, Paul, returned from university to rejoin the family business.
We got to a point when I came home, which was early 80s, because we could see that some of my age group, if you like, were looking for something they didn't want. They wanted something more at market. They didn't want to buy the cheapest product that they could necessarily buy. So,
in response, Vincent Tractors took on Deutz, a brand recognised for their quality German engineering.
We saw Deutz then as being an option to compete with the Masseys and the John Deeres that were coming in at the time as a quality German product, but it was more expensive.
Several years of success followed before Vincent's temporarily switched to selling Massey Ferguson with the blessing of their clients.
We really do make an effort all the way around to make sure that the customer is looked after, and that's always been the ethos, to be honest. And also listening to what they need and what they think will make their life more efficient and easier, and finding that product for them, and then supporting it with parts and training and making sure that if it does go wrong, we got somebody who can go out and put it right.
Deutz soon returned, and in 1999, a showroom extension allowed Vincent to include ground care as part of their main range, choosing to stock Kubota.
The county council wanted diesel mowers to cut school playing fields with, and Kubota had a diesel ride-on mower. So we
GR3 or all
G3.
Beautiful.
So we took the Kubota franchise just for the G3 originally, because we had an outlet for them.
Today, Vincent Tractors remains very much a family business, run by Paul with the help of Ken.
Dad's ethos has been, selling is easy if you've looked after the first one.
Yeah, service sells.
Yeah.
For the future. And he used to say to me when I'm in selling, well, what do I get with this thing, Ken? I said, you get Vincent Tractors. Huh? What do you mean? Well, you get we to look after it for you. Oh, that's it, yeah.
For his part, Ken is showing few signs of slowing down.
My job is to make sure the right tractor's on the lorry, right serial number and all, make sure he's paid for, or the finance is done, or I got to pick up my money.
He still holds a lorry licence. He's philosophical about how the industry has changed.
It says on there, providing there's nothing wrong with the doctor's examination, you may still drive until you get your licence. So Friday I'm going to ring them up, and then they'll either say it's been revoked because you're too old or whatever they want to say, or they're going to send me one.
One thing that hasn't changed in 50 years is its founding principle that service is at the centre of everything.
But yeah, we'll carry on doing what we've done. I think it's probably the story for the future, right?
We hope our service and
reputation
will carry us on for another 50 years.
Yeah, exactly. Like yeah.
You must be an expert driver, dancer, traveller, poker player, diplomat, financier, capitalist, forecaster, weatherman. Also, we must carry a stick, wear a bowler hat, have long checkbook, and have a ready supply of alibis.